Well, sorry folks, I actually have no idea how long my computer went to sleep and then the stream stopped. And I hadn't looked over there because I was working on this guy. So, not streaming, hopefully, nope. And it quit recording too, which is a shame. I don't know what the heck happened. I had not touched the computer, so. And I've got, yeah, plenty of power. Well, sorry about that. I wound up angling this, and I had to address this curve a little bit. We got even wall thickness all the way through. If I took this tenon off, I'd still have enough in the bottom to match this thickness. But I think I like it the way it is, the way it will sit. And that's, again, the main reason why. Um, I don't have any detail here. I do want to sand that, actually, because it looks a lot more open, especially when the rim kind of curves down inside, in my opinion, such as it is. Okay, let's see. Double check, and I got 220. It really gets cooking when traveling at the speed that the outside of the rim is. Yeah, on that. Looking the way I want it to. There we go. There we go. That's more better, I think. Okay, this one's done. Cool. So I can actually throw up this. I should double check. Yep, yeah, I got audio. Okay, I don't know. That was just weird. I happened to look over and the screen was dark, and I went, "What?" And hit my space bar, and then my computer had locked down because it had gone to sleep. And I don't know why. That is a trip. So hopefully I didn't lose any folks out there. Looks like I'll wind up needing to stitch probably those two videos together. Although I've got to check tonight now. I don't know when it stopped recording. That was really wild. Okay, let's move that aside. That aside. I now need these guys. And maybe I don't need so much pokey bit sticking out of this one. Probably do. Huh. And I need to take this guy out. And take it over to the grinder really quick. Looks like I have slightly flattened and mushroomed um, the tip of that dude. Oh, that's right, you're too big. Easy there, killer. So we'll go to one of these guys. Clean this out very regularly and oil it. I think I'm probably going to stop oiling it because this is what happens. It gets stuck. Let's see, I think that might be, yes. Okay. I'm just guessing here, but I think just not oiling it. Any sawdust that gets in there won't do what it's doing now. Okay, that looks pretty clean. So I need to dress up this tip real quick. Be right back. Looks like it's still fairly concentric, so we'll call that a win. I don't think this is keeping it from going in. But let's grab this guy. I really shouldn't have to drive that in. But at least it's going in straight. That'd be about right. Okay. Let's bring up these two pieces of honey locust. Assuming I haven't lost one already. There it is. So, looks like these are probably just about 8/4 at their thinnest part. So let's just play around. Let's see. I do have some splits happening, but we'll see what we need to do for that. So I figure this will be the body, and this will be enough. Actually, I might just knock off this part. This will be enough, I'm assuming, to be a lid. Yeah, let me knock that off. Okay. There we go. And then maybe I can use that for some handle material. So we'll just round that out too while we're at it. All right. Let's kind of take a read on this dude. I'm going to start off with some vibration. So basically a 3-inch box. If I can get a 3.5 though. What's my size here this way? Oh yeah, still be good enough for lid. All right. So let's call it 3.5. Say somewhere in whoopsie daisy. You're not supposed to travel on me. There you go. And 3.5 this way. Which is not going to give me 3.5 this way. Oh, let's try this then. Oh, it'll be close, but no cigar, so we'll go with 3 inches. Let's see. That would be somewhere in that neighborhood, so I'll make it a little oversized. Right there. And that will give me this and this. That looks way off. You know what? I think what I will do is I will knock this off, and then I don't know if I'll ever do balance point with that. All right, let's try 3. Perhaps I need a right angle here. That might be helpful. And that is also 3. Yes. This looks a little more reasonable for a center point. Something like that, perhaps. We'll call that 1 inch and 5/8. 2 inches there. Yeah, no, this is just not. Okay, let's go. Well, if I was going 3 inches, that's perfectly fine. That gives me a little bit there, and I'll wind up taking more off this side, which is okay. And then that is fine. So, really, I don't need to make it difficult. I just need it basically 1.5 inches. And from here, we're actually 1 and 7/8. So 1 and 7/8 in line with that edge would be about here. So I want my line to be somewhere in there. Does that give me 1.5 inches? It does. Okay. So assuming that we can draw a right angle, it gives me exactly 1.5 inches with a little bit over. So I'm going to tilt it a bit. I'll put it there. And assuming that this is a straight edge once again. And now, from here, we are 1.75 inches. So from here, we will be about that same. And I'm going to say it's right there instead. Alright, so that guy's marked. Let's see, I basically got, 2.5 inches. Okay. So let's get our halfway point here. We're going to make the general assumption that that is a straight line, but we will still measure anyway, although we don't have a reference to measure from. So it doesn't look right to me. I'll just change angle and you know what, let's go for 2.5. So that gives me 1.25 right there. So that'd be 2.25, right? Yes. Okay, so from this edge, 2.25 puts me right there. From this edge, fairly straight, we'll call it 1.5. So right in there, and that looks just about right. Didn't poke that hole, did we? Alright, let's round these guys out, and then we'll round that out later. In fact, I might be able to use this. Oh, hey, we should just mark that. So I'm going to say, and that looks about center. A little bit off, but man, this is a little bit narrower side. So this could be a handle. I don't know yet. Let's start with this guy. Put that away. Looks like I'm still recording. Okay, cool. That was just so bizarre. You know what? I'm going to type something and see if the speech chat is actually working, because I can't tell if anybody's in the chat room or you know, just hanging out watching in the background or whatever. Yeah, no. That's because I'm not typing. Okay, there we go.
Dave Rive said, "Hello, everyone."
I should have checked that already. But that's all right. We know that's working. Very strange. Alright, so we'll start this dude here. This dude here. Okay, it's pretty secure. Double check, yep, it's gonna pass right by the tool rest without any trouble. So let's get rid of this vibration. Hey now. Put it away? No way. This would be perfect use for this guy. Wait, it's not over here. Does that mean it fell into the shavings? Let's find out. Oddly enough, no. So I'm looking for my skew right now. It'd be like perfect. Where the heck did I set it? Because this guy's my... Huh. Well, I have taken him somewhere. Or whatever the case may be, I don't want to be gender specific in this scene. When I'm making this pull cut, I'm just shifting my weight on my ankles and letting that carry my body one direction or the other, using my body to do the turning. Body mechanics. Pay attention to that, Eric. It's a big deal. Yowza yowza. Let's see. I think what I want to do. Let's see, does that line up? No, it needs to come over just a bit. There. That's not gonna, let's see. That's not gonna give me enough of an angle. What I want to do is create a little, well shoot, I don't know what you would call it, a little recess with raised back when it sits flat, that this side will be higher than the front. That should be good enough. Except she still isn't straight, so oh, you are so not straight. How did you get over there? Okay, we're getting closer. That's pretty close. All right. That's pretty secure. So what I want to do is basically make a straight cut into there, and I think now I'll do that part after the fact. So it's pretty straight now. I just wanted to clean that up. Clean that surface up. The only thing that's really going to be left is the part that's sticking up. I guess I could leave the... No, it's too late now. I was thinking I could leave the natural edge, but never know. That's a little bitty concave, isn't it? There we go. Really, I didn't have to go all the way in. I just need this outside part to be flat. And it is now. And now I'll go back to my original centers. And then when this sits on the table, this will be a little bit higher than the front. Yeah. I can only go so far. My hand was getting in the way, but what I did was transition from cutting on the bottom wing towards cutting up on the upper wing, so I could keep that same cut going in that direction. Not sure if that's a split, but it could be. It is. There's a couple in there, but this is very hard honey locust. Okay, so now I want to, let's see, what do I want to do? I think what I want to do is to be able to put this in the chuck and hollow out that bottom so I can get an expansion hole in it, because I want to leave a space in there to be able to carve feet, I think. Let's see, Vic Marcus.
Coffee Stream Bot said, visit Dave Rife's co-fi page at https://co-fi.com/HIIMDAVE ?
And this is 3 1/4. So it gives me 1 3/8 on the outside, which gives me
Orange N76
hey,
said,
5/8.
Hey Dave, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, doing all right, man. How are you? Let's see. Doing math in my head here. 1 7/8, so that would be now 1 3/8.
Orange N76 said,
half
pretty
would
good.
be 5/8 would be that, so 5, 10, 11 16ths it is. So that is plenty of wall thickness to do an expansion hold. Okay, that's all I was trying to figure out. Okay, so I'll need to get this in the chuck, and I'll remove some material down there. I want to start on this shape of this guy first.
Orange N76 said, you look like you are using math for art. My least favorite part, lol.
Yeah, I think I've used it more. I don't know, man. I mean, I used to work on in the industrial instrumentation and electronics and equipment, and then the electrical systems and all that. So I was always using math anyway. But with art, yeah, I sure tend to be.
I'd like to turn by the seat of my pants and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But what I was trying to figure out is like what kind of hole I could make in this and not, and I can start working on my shape right away. So I needed to find what my wall thickness was going to be, and unfortunately, or fortunately, however someone might want to look at that, I have the math skills to figure it out. So why not? Actually, I probably before I go any further with this guy, let me round out what's going to be lid material. So you'll have to come out this way. So let's make this guy round so I know. I mean, I should have about 2.5 inches of diameter out of this piece. Yeah, when we start getting into the golden mean, the golden ratio, and the golden.
Said.
Just be in a second. I didn't hear what you said over the sound of the wood and the tool, so I'll have to read it off the screen. Which I can do right now. Do you know Paul Newberger? Depends. Does he live in Indian? No, that's Paul. I know Paul. Well, he's in Indian River. But off the top of my head, I couldn't say yes or no because, unfortunately, I'm terrible with names.
He lives up north like you.
Yeah, the name, I know several Pauls, but unfortunately, I work hard at it, but I'm terrible with names, especially as folks I don't see that often, so there's my public admission. turns out it's not the same with like my kids. But
Orange and 76.
I interact with them on a very regular basis. So, and
He said he knew who you were.
he did the demo for. What'd he do? What did he turn? I think I cannot for some reason. Like I know there's a Paul I know that lives in Indian River and he's a member of our club.
Orange and
There's actually a couple
76
Pauls in
said
our club.
hollow spheres.
Okay. And really, really nice guy. So I don't know that it's the same fella you're asking me about. But very cool. I hope you enjoyed the demo. I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry, again, it's a name thing. Need to interact with those people on a regular basis to keep that in memory banks most of the time. So I've learned also that I
Orange
should
and
also treat
76
people the
said,
same way that
I
I
should
shouldn't
try to
expect.
do estate lasing and casting demo for your group.
Oh, hey, that'd be cool. We had a guy that used to do that every once in a while, and he's very much retired, health issues and stuff like that. So, hey, shoot me a message, get me info where you're at, and because I'm on the committee for demonstrations, um, and I've seen some of your demos. I saw especially one at the Detroit Woodturning Club. Um, get me your info, please. Here, I'll just put my email. I don't know that it shows up on my account, but
Orange and 76 said, cool deal, I will.
uh, let me. Sorry, I'm trying to get this typed in here. Come on, there we go.
Said,
Now,
davelife@gmail.com.
yeah. So send me your info, man, and I'm on that committee. Love to have you in the at least in the list of people that our club will consider. I do know that there are newbies to resin work. I think it would be pretty well received. I know we've got Rudy Lopez coming, trying to get that time frame ironed out right now, I think. But let's see. Now I can't remember. Mark Gardner. We're gonna try to get. We would love to have Mark Gardner out again too. So I'm using my scuba gab because I want to give myself a little bit of a dovetail. I'm not like that though. And the way that I use my scuba gabs is I always get my end cut set in my own body mechanics. So my end cut will be what it feels like for me to feel like I'm standing in a natural position or as natural as possible. My neutral position. And so I got myself set up like that. So this would be my end cut. The flute's almost all the way closed. I've got my thumb on top of the handle. I've got to drop the handle to be able to, and then open the flute, which puts my hand in Not a terribly uncomfortable position, but it's not my neutral position. When I start my cut, all I have to do is raise my hand straight up. I don't need to turn it. I just need to raise it straight up slowly, and my body will automatically change itself to its neutral position, which is the end of my cut, which, because I lined it up, is square with a slight dovetail on the inside. I find that is the most efficient way to use a spindle gouge, is that you get to wherever your end point is going to be your end cut, that make that your neutral position. Go to your uncomfortable, not neutral position to start the cut.
Orange and
And then as you
76
get
say,
there,
I've
you'll get
sounded.
into your neutral position and be comfortable. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, sir. Okay. So that will not bottom out in the chuck. That is now round. So it gives me an idea that I can make a lid that large, which means I can take this down a little bit if I want to, or play around with the dimensions of it. And I choose playing around with the dimensions of it. Okay, I know I've got to put it in a chuck to get that done, but I can do that last before, so I can get all this finished first. Okay, inch and 7/8. Let me grab this, do it again, set my calipers to inch and 7/8. So that gives me quite a bit. Okay, cool. Because what I'm thinking I want to do with this guy, you know what, I should mark that. Inch and 7/8. So just for giggles, we'll say it's there. Now I can cut that in half with a curve, so that's going to be nice. And then I can curve the other side. The lid will still fit right up in there. Yeah. I'm liking this. Okay. I like to do that too, and I do it as often as I can get away. Like that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm having fun, just chunks of wood, and what the heck, let's make a box, because it's honey locust. It's going to be a really pretty yellow. I like yellow wood. Is that enough? It's probably, well, actually, that part doesn't matter. So, doggone it, what the heck did I do with my skew? Because this would be perfect. Come on, where are you at? Did you fall over that way? I don't see a handle poking up. Bear with me for a moment or two. I have misplaced this dude for some reason. Silliness on my part. Ah, there it is. Actually, it was tucked behind a couple of other tools, and that's why I didn't see it. All right, so I'm going to home my skew, and I want to really refine that surface with the skew. What am I? Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite tool either. It's like whatever I'm turning, what tools that requires. That's what I tend to work with because I really, really work hard to get all the utility out of the tools that I have that I can. Um, for one, this is my therapy. I'm a disabled vet, don't have tons of income at the moment. Not that that's something I'm after. I want to make a comfortable living. I'm working on two businesses that, or at least getting them started, beekeeping and teaching wood turning and demonstrations and stuff like that, as well as selling artwork. Turn my therapy into also my income. So what the heck? I'll be working for myself and doing things I actually really enjoy, but the doing things that I can actually physically do and still be productive. And I don't know. I don't guess this really matters if I really think about it, but in this society, people tend to look down on what they perceive to be able-bodied people who don't work for regular 9 to 5 job or slave away at a job or whatever. They don't look past the superficial stuff that everyday people see in public, right? But you don't know that that person hasn't had, I don't know, 14 back surgeries or knees replaced, or I mean any number of things. It's like we kind of seem to have forgotten how to treat each other, and I think that's sad. I also am guilty. uh, but I really trying to make that change, and hopefully foster positive change in other folks too. I'm not perfect, nobody is. And we all gonna make mistakes. Part of, I don't know what they call it, Earth School, right? So it's part of that. Now, the more I play with this, the more I realize I'm not actually going to put feet on it now. I'm just going to create a tendon that I can hold in the check. I'm not going to put feet on this guy. I like what I'm seeing. Nope, we're not going to do that. Let's see, let's get a little bit more rounded than that. It's getting in the way of my tool rest here. Nah, too much contact. of, there we go. Yep, that shooted up pretty good. Alright, let's get the tool rest in an area where I can actually use it. And I could stand to raise it a bit. I'm just really having trouble with that, so I don't know why. Make sure I got, yeah, okay, so I'm almost out of the woods on this spiral stretch I got. That's much more like it, Dave. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Okay, so that's a really nice surface. I think, I don't know, I may use this tenon just as a really, really tiny, just to give it some lift. We'll see. But that back end will be there. I do need, you are not the right tool. I do need a bit of a dovetail there. And also to double check that tenon. Okay. I'm in the right size. There we go. What got happening there? Alright, nothing that sanding won't take care of. I do enjoy turning hibiscus. It is a very, very pretty wood. Let's see. I want this guy. Nah, maybe I'll do without that and just leave this slide around a bit for the foot. I think that'll probably be a better choice. Okay. So now I got a place to hold it in the chuck. Good to go there. My other pieces seem to have fallen off the lathe here. So off we go to the other side. There's the lid material, and there is the possible finial material. Oh yeah, and I need to round this guy out too. So hey, since we're done with those, let's do this. Okay, there's that. Now let's this guy. What dropped? Okay. Now let's go with this guy first. So this is what I've learned is the best hold on a chuck. You want the jaws not completely closed. there to be some small gap in there, but as close together as possible. That's the strongest hold in a chuck for a particular set of jaws. So if the jaws are actually out here, I'd still want, you know, eighth of an inch gap's not a big deal. Sometimes even quarter of an inch. But if you got like a lot of gap, if I tried to grab a larger tenon with these smaller jaws, then I'd have a gap that's, inch and a half wide. And that's not very much of a hold
Coffee Stream
all
Bot
the way
said,
around
visit Dave
on the
Webb's
tenon of this guy.
OFI page at
So on a larger diameter piece, I'll go to larger jaws.
o-fi.com/HIIMDABE question ref equals Twitch.
Less chance. I mean, there's still a chance, but there's less chance of the piece squirting out of the jaws because there's really not much of a gap there. Doesn't mean it won't happen, especially with greenwood. Greenwood is very flexible and compressible, and with greenwood, you want to check your chuck tension fairly often because as it squeezes down, it's squeezing the water out, not just those fibers it's holding on to, but everything underneath it, and that will loosen after a little bit of time. So you want to keep working your jaws and making sure you have a good secure hold on the piece. Okay, so I have that much to play with. I actually have as much as I want to play with, but that's 2 inches in diameter. This is more than that, so that is plenty big enough. How thin do I want to make this? That's all right. This will be fine. I really kind of would like to see a little bit more of an angle on that guy, but this is okay. Okay. Might be a little bit high for this, but I want to open it up pretty quick. Have less to work with when I'm thinning my walls out. This goes too high. Oh. Let's try that. Nope, I was wrong. It was not a skosh too high. I think it was a skosh too low instead. Tailstock is getting in the way. Had to move it back some. Come on now. Still getting in my way. Some of these handles are a bit long. thinking of grabbing the Fortuner bit, but this is going quicker. Let's see, I think that's probably deep enough. Now my wall thickness is even. Let's double check this. I'll go halfway. See right there. So I could go a little bit deeper, but I'm at the point where I can actually grab this guy. That's nice. And then let's check our depth again. Give me some background to look at. It isn't all brown. Okay, so wall thicknesses are even. Let me and now it's time to give it a shelf. It'll be a little tricky because I've got some splits in here, but I'm choosing not to do anything about the splits because this is honey locust. So the inside looks really clean. So I'm going to start working on that. And for that, I'll grab my little homemade sidewall scraper. I was calling it a box scraper, but because I use it on boxes all the time. But really, it's working. I'm using it to work the inside wall of the box. I think I'm just a little bit below center, and I want to be just a little bit higher than that.
Values say,
hey, you made it, man. How's it going? Another fine day to be breathing. I mean, if you don't count all the smoke from the wildfires. Okay, let's see if that's low enough beyond the low point to give me I don't have to be a big shelf. This is not going to be a friction fit piece. Partially again because I've got splits throughout this, but it is very well seasoned honey locust, so I don't really expect to see any issues with it. But now I see I'm going to have some fun completing that curve. That'll be pretty cool. All right. So let's see. Just using this edge to clean off that inside corner of that shelf. I think I'll take it down just a little bit more. I think I'll do that. Basically, I'm lining up the tool with the ways. I'm looking at these lines down here, and that's what I'm lining the tool steel up with to get a relatively straight plunge cut. Down into this. I was just going to blow that off, and I can't because I'm wearing a mask. Hardy, har, har. Okay. I wonder if I have any air here. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Very, very clean. That's what I really like to see. I think I'm going to take, actually, I know I am. I'm going to take my spindle gouge and round this corner here just a little bit. There we go. So that's not a sharp edge now. And I will sand these edges since it's at an angle. I'll do that by hand. And hey, why not now? Now is a good time. Hey, let's grab this 220. And if I'm smart enough to find my little palm deal, there it is.
That is said. We haven't got any smoke here yet. The winds have been blowing them away. BC and Washington State haven't been so bad yet, as that is where some of our smoke last year came from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't the first time, right? I forget what they said, like how many acres are out of control. But looking at the radar maps, it's wild how much the coverage of smoke is actually. But, I mean, we live in a closed ecosystem, right? It is a closed ecosystem. Well, okay, maybe that's not true. We do get the meteorites and meteoroids and all that, and probably some of the resources could come from that, and some DNA, if that's a panspermia thing, is real. So we're not a completely closed system. But as far as human beings are concerned, this is the only place we got. So in that aspect, it's a closed system. We got nowhere else to go. So it behooves us to do something about taking care of our house, our home, our mother, the earth. And everyone else's too. I don't know. I was gonna say, I won't get on my soapbox, but you know what? I'm a beekeeper. I'm gonna be on my soapbox. It's insane the losses that this country alone has had in honeybee colonies, and despite what some companies might want you to believe, it's not just neonicotinoids. It's not just one thing or another. In fact, they're still trying to figure out what all the causes. Certainly herbicides, especially the ones that have surfactants, do kill insects. And if they happen to spray it during times they're not technically supposed to, i.e. when the pollinators are flying, then in general it is a far less potent effect on the honeybees when they're pollinating or whatever other pollinators out there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm liking it. But just the decline alone, the last really big decline was when varroa mite was introduced to this country. So jam chuck for you. Hey, look, I have the perfect thing that can be a jam chuck for you. How fortuitous. Yeah, I'm just gonna take off that foot. So that's a nice little box, man. So let's get this guy in the chuck, and we'll use this to create a jam chuck. So I can take and finish the bottom of this box. And I don't know, I never thought I'd live in an age where there's people in this country who have never seen a honeybee. They don't know what they look like. The outside place is a scary place and one that should be avoided. So I'm not sure that they know what the heck we're up against, man. Let's see, I do need to take that down a little bit. My generator, at least growing up and where I grew up, yeah, especially in my household, children should be seen and not heard unless they're underfoot, in which case they should also not be seen. And so I was outside often. I heard, why don't you go play in traffic pretty often too? But that was, I mean, that was, well, that's what my family called normal. That's, I wouldn't say that was actually normal. Rode bicycles everywhere. Couldn't wait to get a car. Got a car. Still rode my bicycle. Alas, I have changed also. I no longer own a bicycle, which is very sad. All right, so I've got a really, I think I've got a really good jam chuck happening there. We'll just make sure to take some light cuts. Except for that part, I think instead, clearly I will need to bring out the tailstock. So we'll just bring that up for support. Let's see, I can move some of this stuff out of the way. There we go. Hey, lock down. Oh, well, I see. I'm going to need to make that tenon a little bit taller because I'm running into an issue where it's not seating completely on that rim and running true. So oh, and another thing, because I want the rim to sit flush. That also has to be flush. Go figure. All right, let's grab this feller. Now, in theory, apparently not in practice, it should be running true. I'm not bottomed out here. Huh, okay. Well, let's grab. What am I grabbing? I'm grabbing this guy. Oh, it was bottoming out. Whoops. Okay. Yeah. just need to be a little deeper yet. And that should line up on my tailstock. Hey, there we go, finally. And it still might be bottomed out. But it's running through, so we're going to leave it. I think that made my concave bottom. Yep, sure did. Okay. Sit, stay. Okay. Come on. Get out of there. There we go. Very nice surface. I'll take it. Let's see, I do have a smaller. Grab a smaller. Oh, here, I just need this guy. So I'm gonna go grab a smaller spindle gouge, but I've got the tool steel right here. Doesn't have to have a handle. Okay, and I can sand that off. Now we're ready for a lid. Actually, before I do that, come here, you. Fine, I was trying not to do it this way, but I'll do it this way. There we go. Go start my compressor real quick. time to clean the threads out on my tailstock again. So, see those burn marks, that's what happens when you go too fast. I'm going to try to throttle down the speed with the trigger. Don't force the wood when I'm not trying to. Okay, that's done. Good thing I'm wearing my mask today. Okay, I can set this aside for more. I must have blown the cover off my computer this time. There we go. So now I know that's the diameter I need for the lid. I can turn the compressor off now. Excuse me. So this is the diameter I'm after. I know I've got some splits going on in here that go all the way through. So, excuse me. Good golly. Air quality is quite poor here. I mean, yeah, there's some sawdust in the air, but it's mostly the smoke. I can smell the smoke now. Okay, so since I use this as a jam chuck, we'll reiterate. I know this is the diameter I need for the lid, probably a little bit smaller than that actually, because I don't want a friction fit lid on this. I just want it to just sit inside there. So I'll need to take this down just a bit. And then I got to figure out what kind of shape am I looking for, because I could I could complete that curve only on the inside, and that might be a neat little, I think I'm going to do that. I think that'll look pretty nice. So let me take, uh-oh, I feel a Beatles song coming on. All right. Let me take you down. All right. It's still a little bit wide, but that now, this part is the perfect fit, actually. I'm going to pick up my cut right there and carry that all the way through. So it doesn't really matter, actually, too, like lining up the grain. I will have some luck, but not a lot, because they were on the same plane in the log, but separated. So the grain is not going to be perfect. But I think that is the right fit that I want. So I'm going to start working on completing this curve. And I don't need you in the way, my friend. So let's move this stuff aside. That aside and that all the way back. You are spindle gouge. I don't. Well, I might use a spindle gouge. Maybe. Okay, so I want. And do I want to truncate it? No, I think I'll continue more or less the curve of this. So the apex will be somewhere up in here, I think. Take it about that far. That should be okay. There. Okay, so I think I need to make it a little squattier. Oh, it's a long point. That was an impressive spiral test. Wow, okay, I'm gonna drop this down a little bit. Well, now it's time to sharpen my skew. I got a spiral catch there. So I won't use that yet on the skew for a minute. Another nice thing about working with this skew, even if one tank is damaged, I can still work with it. I think that is about. I'll have to go a little squatty. I'm gonna go take care of this dude. Well, yeah. So there, it's not very deep though, so that's a bonus. Oh, that's what happened. I think. Let's take a look at this. Caught that. Yep. Coming around. I bet I caught that split right there, and it pushed me right back. Okay, well, let's take care of this skew. Whoops, come on. That is if I can with this setup. There we go. What the heck is that? Oh, all right. I'm feeling buggy for a reason, then. I keep finding that was a stink bug on my neck, but I haven't really had, I mean, I've seen ticks and I've had ticks on me, but they don't normally attach. And this year, I've already had 4 attach. And feeling something crawling my neck. I'm like, great, is that another tick that's crawled up my coils or something? Okay, that's not the right angle. There we are. Want to get the right angle on my tool. And it's not just a preference thing. And I like the angle of the blade of my skew to be at. Everybody's got their own preference. There we go. I like to have mine, at least on this one anyway, angled this way. On my other one, I like a radius skew, and I really do like that too. Oh, there's a bit of a burr. Let's take care of that. Not using the skew as a scraper. Whoa, man, wow. That's some hot steel. So just gonna go right along where the steel meets the file card here. It's not gonna meet in the middle. because that wheel is around has created a cove in there, so it's not a straight angle. But the angle I'm looking at is between this corner and the tip. And if I run along that, then I am on the angle for the skew itself. It eventually you start seeing some wear marks along the edge and along this edge here as I am honing and taking away more and more steel. But that uh, I just about had that name for that. But anyway, that curve in there will slowly start to shrink, but that will never, and I never want to get to that point where it's perfectly straight. I want to have a little bit of a curve there because I'm only really wanting to engage the blade of the skew itself, not the whole bevel. In fact, with all of my tools, so that's how I want to work with them. I want to, you the guy, you're my guy. Okay, sit. Too high. Okay. So take a look at that. I'm going to bring this back just a little bit. Ah, the joys of the short skew. I think that is the shape I was after. Now comes the tricky bit. That I did not think of at all. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, what I should have done is I should have hollowed it first. Given it, general shape and hollowed it first. So let's think about this. What's my way around this? Wait, let's mark this first. What is this? 4 and 1. Good. That's the jaws of my choice typically to make a mark at. So how small? Well, no, I know what it needs to be, 1 inch 7/8. Okay. So then somewhere in here. All right, so I'm going to create myself a little hole, but I'm going to make it a feature. so this is an 1 3/4 inches. That's 7. That's 5. It's also not 9. So if I put that, oh, well, that's actually in a good spot then. So I think instead I'll move my mark to, oops, hey, get back here. Right about here. And she doesn't have to be very deep at all. All right, let's finish this bit though. You get that when you're looking at something for a while and your eyes wig out and you just wiggle on your back and forth and distort your vision. That happens to me. Okay, so I want maybe a little bit lower. That's in the ballpark. In the ballpark. All right. So there is that truism that you can, it's easier to do smaller details with a larger tool than it is to do larger details with a small tool. And you need to go with whatever your comfort level is. You don't need to go very deep here. Myself a bit of a dovetail there, and then I'll shade that down just a little bit right at that corner to blend it in with the rest, and then that will look more like a continuous curve. But that gives me a place to hold on to it. All right, and it's not so what's the word, large, noticeable. I mean, it looks like it's part of the design. I really like to look for ways to hide those things, those features that sometimes you gotta have on the piece to be able to hold it in a certain way, like a shelf on the inside, like this shelf on the inside. Uh, on a lid, even something like that, I could get to sit on the chuck and leave that, and it is part of the design, but it definitely looks like it belongs there. So there's ways to hide those things hide. Hide is not the best word. It's best ways to incorporate them into the design process. Because there are going to be times where there will be marks on the chest. Do you incorporate that into the design, so add to the tenon, or do you take that design and then turn that into something else? Those marks. I've done both. I've taken those marks and then turned them into spaces for between feet uprights. And those marks were very definitely impressed into the wood where the chuck jaws were touching the wood, but it gave that 90-degree angle in that area that I thought that it made the feet look that much more glued. Just doing a little scraping, scraping. Now I can hollow this dude out, and in theory, let's just take a look at that. I mean, I'll be able to, actually, I'll be able to figure it out before I even start hollowing out that is the correct diameter. So I don't know, that's going to be a problem. I can't get that deep into the chuck jaws, alas. So, and I don't think yeah, I won't be able to grab it there either. Okay, thinkity think. If I had those stronghold jaws, or whatever they call them, the really deep ones, that'd be pretty groovy, but I don't have those. What I do have, I can't remember how big these. I made some wooden jaws. Might be too big. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that for a little bit to see how the hell I'm going to. Screw check won't help me. Oh, but. Drill a hole there. Use a screw chuck for a little bit. I mean, it doesn't matter if the tenon for the female goes all the way through, especially since, in this case anyway, it's going to be the same color if I can find that. I see it just dropped down into the shavings. Same color of wood, so that would be all right if it showed up on the inside. That would be a way to address the problem. However, well, I mean, I could make. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So I would need some deep well jaws for that, I think, unless I cut another
Coffee Stream Bot.
groove.
Visit Dave Life's Co-Fi page at https://co-fi.com/HIIMDAVE question laugh equals Twitch.
But I really don't think it'd be tough. Well, that's what it's all about, right? Tough. All right. We're going to do it. I'll just make Let's see, where's my mark? There's my mark. Another groove. At the area on this dome that we're running through. Running through. This corresponds to 1 7/8 and just make a very slight flat spot there. And then downhill a bit, I'll make another bead. And then they will match. Calipers. Pencil. Inch and 7/8. Seriously? I don't think that's quite deep enough, but we'll try it. So somewhere around here is what I want. So that should take, but I'm pretty sure that's actually now not going to fit the check anyway, so let's find out. Ooh, I might be wrong. I might have gotten right at the right spot, but I don't think so. Yep, it was a little tall. Alright, I can fix that very easily. Since I have to make the adjustment anyway. Alright, so that means this is going to be an even smaller bead here. I'm not rotating my wrist, I'm just lifting my hand straight up my body. Right to my end point. Right there. It's comfortable for me. Alright, so now I've got to make a bit of an adjustment here. But not much of one, unfortunately. Ah, I guess I gotta take that back. Lovely. Alright. That should fit in the check. Let's check that too. Yeah, of course. This is what I really want. Do that. Oh, nice. Okay, so I got just enough. There's a tiny bit of gap. I got just enough. And that's all I need. And this chair and this lamp. I love this lamp. And that's all I need. And this thermos. And these glasses. Don't remember the whole line, but anyway, Steve Martin. Oh, was it the jerk? I love this lamp. Okay, mask on. Eye covers on. So nice little bit of detail, adds a little bit of interest, and it's fully functional. Look at this, cowboy, you're not going anywhere. Alright, now I need to mark center again. Oh, I can use this guy now that I have a super short point. Instead of pushing for the 1/4 inch. Alright, there we go. So that will center my drill bit. Now I can take this dude out and try our hand at a little bit of hollowing. Hold on a second. I can't tell this is part of the wood or this is a sanding mark. Okay, so it's a slight change in hue. Even though Hugh wasn't aware of it, there was a slight change in hue. Okay, so it's not a sanding mark. There's a slight color change here and there. It's like, dang it, I don't want to leave that. Because technically, I could put it back into, actually, I could drill it now, too. Oh-de-do-de-do-de-do. I think I will drill it to 1/4 inch. Now, let's see what I got here. I hope I don't have a... Oh, nice. Okay. I was hoping I didn't have a brad point on it. I want to have that cone of the drill bit go right into that center. I think that'll be okay. Oh, wow. Holy smokes, it's 11 o'clock already? My goodness. Well, again, I apologize for the weird technical glitch I had. This would be deep enough. Where I lost, it's like my computer, like, shut down the stream and then put itself to sleep. It's like, that is really bizarre. That's never happened before. I don't know what caused it, so I don't know how much of the evening's broadcast is lost, nor how many folks may have been lost along the way. I hope some of them made it back to be able to see this much of it. So, yeah. However, I'm not ready to give up on this guy yet, so let's get it seated right on the jaws. I'm going to haul this out. Alright, you got to drop down. So thanks for joining this evening. Thanks for sticking out. If you made it back, or maybe I didn't lose you, I don't know. But thanks again, everyone, for supporting this channel by being here. Those of you who chatted, by chatting, by following the channel, picking up a subscription, which is always helps the channel, so thank you. Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm not giving up on this yet. See, let's make chamfer that corner again. Lurkers are still supporting the channel by watching, man. That's, oh man, no. Okay, so I got to take this this diameter down just a little bit. I did not want a friction fit. So, can do easy, Joe. I don't have any expectations of how long this thing is going to last or survive at all, because it's got splits running through it, but it's pretty wood and fun to turn, and what the hell. Any longevity that we have just adds to the time that we get to appreciate looking at it. At least that's my story. Okay, there we go. Just enough. Did I take you off? I did not. Alright, so now on to the hollowing of the wood. Now I got a song by Ringo Starr running through my head. If you got troubles and you've got less troubles than me. Alright. Don't know why. Let's go with this shell for a minute. Alright, a little bit too big of a cut, but didn't break anything, just took it out of the chuck. So we'll take lighter cuts. Alright. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to swap out here. Okay. Let's see, that puts me. Oh. Well, I know I can do this. Let's find out. Okay, boom, boom, as I thought. So we're that on the inside now. Puts me right at this level, so I've got this much material to work with. I think I'm going to open that up a little bit more and then leave it a little thick in the top for, well, I don't guess I have to do that either for the tenon to sit in, but I can turn, or I should be able to turn a piece that will fit in there like a cap over the top of the dome. It shouldn't be something terribly exceedingly difficult, but first things first. Oh no, not this guy. Yeah, that's a little too big. Alright, so I found the hole, which is great. Not that it was lost. But now, actually, I can incorporate that cannon and it'll be really easy to trim off. I can actually just make the tenon a little bit long, put this back in the chuck because that tenon will uh, fit inside the space that goes in between all four chuck jaws. Okay, so that's the lid turned. It's actually, well, it's just a little bit thicker in the top than it is in the side. It's not much. And that just sits right there like that. And then once grain lines are turned up, that's kind of a, and at the very least, I could always drop it down right on top of that bead if I didn't like that, because I can hold it right there with the chuck. But I like that. I think. We'll see. That might look better if it was down. Huh, I don't know. Desquisitions. And I need to find a way to hold on to that dude anyway. So here we are. At a crossroads and at a stopping point. I was actually going to keep going, in fact, but I don't have jaws to hold that yet. I need to find a key that I have lost for a particular set of chuck jaws. Actually, I think I may just take that whole bottom band off and let that set in there. Maybe just leave just a little bit above or right in line with the lowest point of this dip in the, and then I think it might actually work a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to, actually, yeah, I do. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So hey, why not now? Let's just get it done. And then I will sign off. Oh, and I'll get a chance to use my, should I? Yeah, I'll get a chance to use my little tiny miniature, I guess that's tiny, parting tool. All right, so I think right about there. You know what? We'll bring that guy out. Let's see, where is he? You're not there. Looking for my miniature. Up there it is. Parting tool. Made a handle for. That'll be just right. Actually, I think that also adds to um, the detail and how it looks. That looks pretty interesting, actually. All right, take that out. Hey, come on. Oh yeah, yeah. That actually, I like that shape much better, and that first bead there is like right at the level of the lowest point, and you can see that something goes down further, but you can't tell. Yeah, that looks pretty stellar to me. Oh, I see now that this camera also has decided to close its flap for some reason. Good lord, all kinds of wild stuff is happening today. So yeah. So I just need to turn the finial, and I think that'll be a nice. I'm holding it too high. Let's drop it down. There we go. So yeah, now I feel like that curve is going the right direction, and that completes it. So that's cool. That'll be a nice little box. Just need to turn a finial, and I will turn a finial with. Can't save that. I will turn a finial with a cup on it that I can set right on top of this, so that will add a little bit more, well, maybe one more tier, or rather just another different feature. Anyway, hold on, I'll add another feature in there, and that cup will sit right on top, and then I can put this back in the chuck and clean off where the tenon comes through here, and that will look really nice. So I'm golden. Cool. All right, lights off, and that one off. We'll turn this camera up. That closed its own flap. You're not supposed to close your own flap there, pal. People want to see what's happening, and I want people to see what's happening. And when you guys like quit working, everything goes to hell. All right. I need to turn that one off. All right, so very cool. I That's going to be a really cute little box, I think. Um, get it rotating around. You see that little slight little rise, and that adds to it. I think that's cool. Anyway, thanks for joining me this evening. I appreciate you coming out and hanging out in electronic or digital land or whatever, even though you might be in your own living room or sitting at a desk or whatever. Me, I'm standing up next to a lathe out in my garage. But I certainly appreciate all the support,
Copy
all the
stream
people that
5.
come out
Said. Visit Dave
to
Lex
watch this
OFI page
channel,
ad.
maybe learn a little bit about
https
wood
colon
turning.
slash slash
I do
go
my
dash
best,
fi.com
most of the
slash
time, doing my best
HIIMDAVE
to
question mark
explain
equals
what I'm
Twitch.
doing,
That
how I'm
is. Say.
manipulating the
Great
tools,
stream. That is. Say.
talk
Catch you
about,
next week.
just cover, there's so many subjects to cover in wood turning, chucks, versus between centers versus glue block versus screw chuck versus blah blah blah, and that's just a tiny small subset of all the things that are encompassed by the term wood turning, all the way on up to fine art, right? So I mean, there's a lot to know. And I myself, I've been turning for, well, since 2015. Yeah, since 2015 is when I got this lathe. Very grateful to the friend who bought it for me, who fronted the money for it. To be quite honest, fronted the money for it. I was able to eventually pay her back, but this was where I started. This is my first go at alternative therapy, was turning
That is.
wood.
Say. He's framed.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very, very cool. And then got involved with some other veterans and got
Values,
turned on to
say.
Here's the
It
Hive.
seems I
So,
need better friends.
no.
Values, say. LUL.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to say that was a really groovy thing. Uh, really, really nice lady. Um, very, very cool. Anyway, I was eventually able to pay her back. Some of it was through selling some of the pieces that I turned, so that was kind of nice. And then, of course, picking up beekeeping and that is another alternative therapy. And I don't know. I mean, I mean, I should guess I should kind of laugh because the two modes or inroads, I guess, into alternative
Values,
therapy
say.
I have
Good
chosen are
people attract good
spendy.
people.
Beekeeping and wood turning can be expensive, uh, especially if it's just a hobby. For me, it's not just a hobby, but just as a hobby, it can be even just an expensive startup to do a hobby kind of a gig. So I appreciate all the people that want to come to learn and do my best to answer all the questions that are passed my way. What kind of tools should I get? What kind of lathe should I get? Blah blah. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Because there's plenty of room in the wood turning world for everybody, as far as I'm concerned. There really isn't any secrets. And if somebody telling you it's a secret, it's because they're trying to monetize it. It's not a secret. The techniques I show you, yeah. I mean, like I say, I'm working at turning these therapies into a livable wage for me, so that I'm not relying just on disability. I can still, and I mean, I don't have a doubt that I'm productive, but still be a productive member of society. Whatever, I can support myself. I can. I just need to be able to get this to go. So, um, yeah, like that. So again, thank you all for the support. I appreciate it. I hope you all stay friendly. I hope you enjoyed this channel and got a little bit out of it, but I also hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope to see you next Tuesday and Wednesday evening, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Find out what we're going to turn next. I have no idea. Who knows, man? Might be one of those days that I go flying off on the seat of my pants like I did after I finished that bowl when I went with this guy. Play on to chaos. Gotta love it. Thanks again. Take care, folks. Good night.